Well, this has to be one of my favorite time-saving and actually fun to use home cleaning devices. So this is Tineco's Floor 1 S9 Artist Steam, and this is a wet dry mop and vacuum, and I'm going to show you how I use it to clean up my studio as well as how it can make your life easier. So if you haven't come across one of these before, a wet dry mop is basically two devices in one. So it's a mopping system as well as a vacuum, and what that means is that you don't have to both vacuum or sweep your floor before you mop it. It does it all in one pass. But keep in mind though that this is specifically for hard floors. It's not something where you can just use it as a vacuum on, say, a carpet. And that could be tiles, or it could be wood, or other hard surfaces. So what this really delivers is time saving because you don't have to go and clean up first and then do a mop after that. Plus, mops are messy. You have to fill up the bucket, empty out the dirty water. You have to clean the mop itself. What this does is it actually eliminates all of that sort of mess and fuss. It's more compact as well, and it really gives you the immediacy of cleaning up right after a mess. So, for example, say you have a baby and it drops something sticky and messy on the floor. You can just get this out and give it a vacuum and mop. All of that's cleaned up. You can do that nice and quickly. I'll tell you about the design here. So first off, what they've found at Tineco is that a lot of cleaning appliances now are sort of out on display, and I think that it's great that with the Artist series, they've made it look, quite elegant. It's got some nice finishes here. There's a sort of a pattern design here as well. So I think it doesn't look bad if you have it out in your space, and it's also quite compact too. And you can see that I can just lift it up. But let's start from the top. So there's a display up top here that gives you information about the cleaning mode that you're in, as well as turning it off and on, as well as the auto clean functions. But lower down here, they've got this sort of 3D display here. And what this does is it goes from red if things are really dirty on the floor to blue. So it's giving you real-time feedback about the cleanliness of your floor, so you can decide to sort of clean certain areas more than others until everything turns nice and blue on here. Another thing I like is how they position the water tanks. So you've got a dirty water tank here at the back, and this is a 0.75 liters. And then what they've done is they put the clean water tank here at the bottom. And the reason why, by the way, that's 0.88 liters for this one, is because it keeps the center of gravity lower rather than having it sort of on this stalk here, so you have more of the weight down below. And it's also really easy to change the water too. You can just kind of lift it up here, and you can also at a glance see just how much water it has in there. So that's quick and easy. But otherwise, look, there's another great feature about this, and I'll try to do it here, but really it folds down 180 degrees, so it goes quite flat so you can get under things. But traditionally with this design, sometimes it loses suction when it's sort of positioned that way, but this one doesn't because it's engineered really not to lose any suction when you put it lower, and also when you have these tanks lower down, so it doesn't interfere with the way the water flows. So at the bottom here, you've got the base. I like this because it's actually a pretty small footprint. It doesn't take up a lot of room. There's a single power plug at the back there that you can kind of conceal. And really, when you're done, you just put it in here, and then it will charge it, it will clean it, and dry it. A real standout is the HyperSteam cleaning mode of the S9. So what happens is that it will heat the water up to 140 degrees and then clean with steam on your floor. Now, there's a lot of benefits to doing this. One is it really is good at tackling very oily stains, sticky stains, stuff that's dried on for a long time. So it just really kind of gets up and lifts that up. Another reason is that you don't actually need to have a cleaning solution because the steam is so hot, it kills bacteria and it already cuts oil and grease anyway. So this is great because it just keeps chemicals off of your floor. So you can select this or other different cleaning modes just using the button with this display at the top. There's also an auto cleaning mode, there's a suction mode, there's a sort of a max mode as well. So you can just cycle through those and you can turn on that HyperSteam mode when you need it. One other thing to add is that as the steam cools down as it moves towards the floor, the way it's been engineered is that the steam still is about 99 degrees when it's actually rolling on the brush. Other ones don't necessarily keep it that hot when they use it. I also really like not using detergents when you have pets or babies, crawling on the floor. It's just healthier for everyone. But most of the time you won't be cleaning with steam. The roller brush itself is constantly cleaned and rinsed as you use it. Now you'd want this because otherwise, if you run over a stain or some dirt, you don't want a dirty mop just spreading the dirt all around your floor. Now it does this in a few processes. Basically, the brush itself spins very quickly, it scrubs the floor, then it's actually kind of, the dirt is kind of wrung from it, it's sucked up into the system, and then it's constantly rinsed with clean water. And that happens as the brush rotates very, very quickly. The S9 is absolutely at home cleaning bathrooms, but there's nothing worse than having to untangle long hairs that are wrapped around a roller. This actually has something called a DualBlock anti-tangle design. So it works on two levels. There's actually a jagged comb underneath here that scrapes hairs off and just kind of cuts them into little pieces. And there's also a straight scraper as well here, which clears the roller from hair too. So you have both of them working together and just keeps the tangles away. I like too that it's easy to take the roller off in case you do need to get in there and clean some stuff out. And there's a pretty straight path from the roller all the way up into the dirty water tank. And that makes it quite useful for the self-cleaning because it can actually clean all the way up the path to the tank here itself, so there's no debris that's stuck in there that you have to get out later. So the batteries are actually stored right in here. So these are special two-way batteries. They actually support fast charging, which is great. In terms of total battery life, it's rated for 75 minutes, but if you're just using steam, that will only give you 30 minutes. But ultimately, yeah, when you're done, you just place it in the dock and it should fast charge. I was actually using auto mode, and I like that mode because it in real time analyzes how dirty the floor is, and I can see that using the little iLoop smart sensor readouts here, and it will make adjustments in terms of brush speed and water flow, so I don't really have to do any thinking about that. Also, I think I like with the design too, at the very base here, there's some lights that shine down here so I can see where I'm cleaning. But with the triple-sided edge design of the S9, this means that you can really get up alongside walls, and the brush extends out to the far edges here, so there's no real gap that you're gonna miss anything. And when it comes to sort of pushing things into corners, the brush goes really close to the edge on the front as well. So it's just really good at getting in and cleaning tight spaces. I think what makes this really fun to use, even for the kids, is that it has motorized wheels. It can even counter-rotate the wheels, so when you're sort of turning the head side to side, which it does do about 70 degrees per side, it will actually reverse one wheel and make one other wheel move forward, and that just creates that turning motion, and really just cleaning is easier than ever. Here in the bathroom, the S9 is great for cleaning the floors, especially tackling hairs, but there's also a suction mode, which is good for cleaning up excess water. Say you just hopped out of the shower and there's a bit of a puddle, so let's give that a try. Okay, so I've got a dirty mop now. What do I do next? Well, thank goodness I don't have a lot of maintenance and cleaning to deal with. Because this has a full path self-cleaning dock, what happens is that it cleans both the brush and all the pathways to the dirty water tank. So first off, you just empty the dirty water tank. There's a HEPA filter in there as well. You can rinse those out. And thankfully, you don't have to buy new HEPA filters. You just put the same one back in. But you just place it in the dock otherwise, and just with one press of a button, it will start to clean. So it uses hot water to clean the brush system. It both rotates forwards and backwards to make sure that it really gets all of the dirt off. And after that, it has a fast drying system. So this is really cool. It uses 85-degree hot air. It takes only about 5 minutes. So really, yeah, you just press one button and the cleaning cycle will start. There you go. In 5 minutes, it'll all be done. Well, here's one I prepared earlier. I've got a dirty balcony. Look, it's not normally like that, but I haven't cleaned it in a while. It's really dusty. There's been some recent rain, so it's a bit muddy out there as well. But look, I thought this is a perfect test for the S9, especially with its powerful suction. So it has 2200 pascals of suction, and that's really good at lifting up dust and dirt and debris, and it really does need a clean out there. So I'm gonna put it in max mode and yeah, go and give it a good cleaning. Wow, this is doing a fantastic job of just lifting up that sticky, dusty, muddy stuff here. I mean, otherwise I would have had to come and vacuum this first, and that would have been such a pain because the dust really is stuck on. But this is just saving me so much time. It's doing a great job of cleaning up the dirt here. Also works well on uneven surfaces, and I can really track how well my floor is cleaned by that iLoop sensor, you know, going from red to blue here. But really a great solution. But keep in mind though that the S9 isn't an outdoor cleaning wet dry mop. It's really about cleaning indoors. Wow, just loving how much time this is saving me. It is fantastic and super easy. Okay, well, the best part about making this video is I get to clean the studio at the same time. But look, that's our overview of the Tineco Floor 1 S9 Artist Steam. And I think really the ultimate best thing about a wet dry mop is just the convenience and the time savings they offer you by being able to mop and vacuum at the same time. But the S9 really has some advanced features. I love that steam cleaning. I think that's really great. Plus the motorized wheels are a lot of fun as well. So the Floor 1 S9 in Australia costs $14.99, but there's also a Pro model as well, which is $12.99, and that just doesn't have the steam capabilities. Let us know if you have any questions. I'd love to know what you think about wet dry vacs. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Plus, we don't want you to miss out on the latest tech. So thanks for watching our Gadget Guy video, and I'll catch you in the next one.